I'm Earl the Pearl, Magic Market Broadcast Briefing. How are you doing this week? Man, we've had a fantastic week. A lot of things have been going on in the marketplace, a lot of changes going on in our society, and we're back again to learn how to be professional broadcasters so that we can dictate our own destiny, give our own voices out in the R&B community. We can do what's important for our community and also lead and give opportunity to others through our advanced knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's why we do the professional broadcasting training. And so we've got training started. We've got things going, and people are looking forward to shaping their own destinies. And I've been watching people on my timeline, Aaliyah, Rudy Ray, and people like Jay Wesley starting their own businesses and on the air. Outstanding Jay Wesley, outstanding Kavan, and she's doing great with her rehealing and rebuilding. And so that's what we got to do. We got to reheal, restructure, rebuild, give ourselves an opportunity to do what we were called to do here while we're here. And so a lot of things going on in our society. We have to take advantage of the opportunities. The opportunities are cloaked in trouble. They're cloaked in disadvantage. They're cloaked in struggle. So take advantage of the opportunities. Get yourself together. Get ready to start learning professional broadcasting. Get ready to start doing the best that you possibly can to be proficient. And we're going to talk about niches today. This is what you've been waiting on. Everybody doesn't have an opportunity to do professional broadcasting. Many people have their own businesses and just want to do commercials and learn how to do commercials. That's fine. I've been watching Cassandra Logan over at Logan's Kids, and she is constructing her business and doing a phenomenal job in getting her business going. It's awesome to see businesses grow. It's awesome to see people giving their own opinions about their own destiny. Professional broadcasting will do that. Even if you don't learn how to construct a radio station or a podcast, you can still do your own commercials. You can still tell people about your company. You can still tell people about your community. That's what this is all about, so that you can help construct your community, help build your business, and give a direction toward what you're wanting to do so more people are accepting of where you're headed and where you're going. So we're going to talk about niches today. Your niche. Now, if you have a business already, okay, your niche is what you're doing. And say, for example, Cassandra Logan has a kids business where she's selling uniforms and things of that nature. That is her niche market. Now, if she wanted to expand her niche, it would be something that would go along with what she's doing already. So the additional product would not scare her existing customers away. So you have to think long and hard if you got a business already going. If you have your business going already, then focus on something that would transcend easily from what you're offering and selling now, so that your customers will go, oh, he or she is offering that now. That would be a nice addition to your existing business. And so those are the things that you have to think about if you have a business already, expanding your niches. And if things get a little stale, a little slow, you should consider expanding your niches and growing out just a little bit so that you can attract something new to existing customers. But you have got to give them something else to aspire for, to look forward to, so that they don't get bored with you and they still continue to support you. Everybody likes something new, and everybody likes something that evolves, and everything moves, and action and movement and energy is just a natural, and it will occur naturally. So you have to get right with that flow too if you're having a business. If you don't have a business and you're wondering what kind of niche you can do in professional broadcasting or podcasting, we're going to give you some niches right now. Let's start off with a niche that you can do in a podcast you can talk about. You got to do research on all these things. You got to learn about these things. Google is your best friend. Get on Google and start learning about these particular niches and all the particulars that go along with these niches, then when you start talking about them, people will look at you and go, oh, well, they understand that you have done some study. If you study, you show yourself approved, then people have a tendency to believe in you and they will accept you. So ADHD, that's the first niche. Okay. I had a distant relative that we thought had ADHD, and that is a diagnosis from a doctor, attention deficit disorder. And a lot of people in our community are diagnosed with that problem, so to speak. I don't necessarily believe that it is a problem. I just think that it is a designation now that you can talk about. Maybe you can talk about it in terms of getting it removed in our community. Or maybe you really are a believer in ADHD and you can help people in the community solve that issue. Acne is another niche that you can use. Yeah, people have problems with their faces. That's a big concern and consideration in our community. And they want those bumps and stuff removed in but like natural ways or even cosmetic ways to remove those. You can talk about adoption. Adoption is big in our communities, especially from other countries. An adoption podcast would be a good idea. How about Alzheimer's? And a lot of our parents and grandparents are getting older now. And so Alzheimer's has a situation where it can come into your life and just change everything. You could talk about Alzheimer's in your podcast. How about anger management, especially for some of our youth that go through problems and are lacking two-parent families? They only get one side of the fence. And so they need the anger management, or they have mother and father's just crazy and a nut. All anger management may be a topic that you're very familiar with, and you have to be passionate about these niches. If you got a niche and you're pursuing it, you got to be real passionate about it and learn about it. Anti-aging is another niche. People are living longer. Baby boomers like myself are getting older, and people always like to know how they can extend their time here on Earth. Anti-aging would be a good podcast for you to consider to pursue. How about anxiety? Getting upset, anxiety podcasts. You get upset, you lose control, and you get upset and you lose control. What happens? Well, you make mistakes at what you're doing. Anti-anxiety could be a way of calming yourself, making yourself whole again so that you can complete your task, stay calm, and so on and so forth. How about archaeology? An archaeology podcast. That might be a good idea for those people who like to dig in dirt and and live and find out what our people did and trying to find out the study of rocks. That might be a good podcast. How about arthritis? Mr. Arthur. If you're experiencing a little bit of arthritis, because people are getting arthritis younger and younger and younger, you get arthritis in your 20s now. So it's not unusual. Learn about arthritis and talk about our arthritis podcast. And then asthma podcast. Asthmatic. Asthma is a unique ailment that happens in areas, and especially in lower income areas. That might be a nice podcast for a person. Astrology. People really, really like astronomy and astrology. Also back pain. Back pain is prevalent, especially for active people who do sports, or people who just walk, or people who have been injured in accidents. And back pain can happen to anybody at any given time. You just pull it, and that's it. And I've had it happen many, many times. And why not a podcast, a niche market on back pain? And my last one for this segment, because we're going to do 2 or 3 segments on this issue, is bird training. How many people have birds in the home still? It was kind of common when I was growing up. We'd see a parakeet every now and then at somebody's house talking, and they would just use it as a conversation piece. My parrot can talk. Well, you can actually do a podcast on parrots and birds in the home and teaching your birds how to talk, a parakeet how to speak. You can do a podcast on something like that. And these are interesting ideas for niche markets. Take them seriously. Hopefully, they've given you some ideas. We're going to be back next week on more niches and probably the following week, because there are a lot of niches that you can use to start your broadcast, podcast, or even help accentuate your present business by putting it an interesting aspect on social media, especially if the podcast pertains to or the commercial pertains to your present business. So if you have a business. And so I hope you enjoy our niches. We'll see you next week, and stay engaged, keep learning, keep pushing. Earl the Pearl Magic Market broadcast briefing. I'll see you on the radio, magic108fm.com.